Here I am with Ross Wilkins, son of the legendary player Ray Wilkins. I'm here today with Ross because he's going to fight.
So the reason I kind of wanted to get involved with the boxing in the first place was it's something I've always looked at and always wanted to get involved with. And with the events of last year, I've kind of decided to get on a bit of a fitness journey.
Can I just ask, what happened last year? I know what happened to your dad, but the effect and everything that's had on the family.
So I said in an article recently, I think that anyone that goes through like a tragedy like we went through, it affects you mentally first and foremost.
Okay.
And you're the real natural progression to get really down about things and stuff like that. So I took to exercise to try and get myself out of it. Right. I was about 18 and a bit stone at the time.
Because I think you lost 5.5, 6 stone?
Yeah, so through this period I've managed to lose about 5.5 stone today.
Okay.
And I'm getting what I think is reasonably fit. I've actually started to manage to play football again now, which is something I wanted to do. It's one of the goals I had. But now with where I'm at, I want to do the next thing, the next level, and I want to start pushing myself a little bit.
To be quite honest with you, being a boxing man and not a football man, although all my sons love the football, it might be nice for you to talk me through as a young man growing up with your dad, obviously a professional top footballer. Tell me a bit about Ray.
Yeah, sure. So he was a pretty decent footballer, some would say probably.
Bit of history, clubs,
84 times
Chelsea.
for England, Chelsea, Man United.
Yeah.
AC Milan, we lived out in Milan for a while, moved to Glasgow. And he had a really good time up at Glasgow Rangers, which was lovely. Before coming back down to QPR, where we kind of pitched up in Surrey. We've been there for about 24 years now.
So you travelled all over, really?
So yeah, we moved around as a kid a lot, which was nice. Got to experience some different cultures and stuff.
Brothers and sisters?
Got one sister called Jade. She's over in Brentwood at the moment. She lives over there with her husband Terry.
Okay. And obviously with your dad being as he was, and how did you find it as his son?
At times it was lovely and at times it was very difficult. I think we spoke about it earlier. There was a time when I was about 11 years old and I was running onto a football pitch and I could hear someone on the sideline saying to me that he's never going to be as good as his dad. And I think those kind of things are really difficult to take as an 11-year-old. They
stick into your heart and into your spirit. Yeah.
And in the end, unfortunately, I ended up suffering with depression at the age of 18, 19.
Really?
Which I really suffered with.
Can we talk a little bit about that? Is it all right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because you know it's a thing nowadays that hits lots and lots of people.
Yeah, definitely.
Men don't want to talk about it.
You know, for me to say it now, I probably wouldn't have said it when I was 18, 19.
There you are.
There's a big change, isn't there?
Okay.
But back then, I can't think there's any single trigger as to why I got it. There's a definite chemical imbalance in your brain that you kind of get, but there was a lot of emotional factors at the time as well that we were going through. And I think it's a really hard time in general. It took me about 2.5 years to get out of it. My wife now, Sarah, was one of the main reasons I managed to get out of it. She showed me a lot of support through that period. And unfortunately, I missed out on some of those really important years when you're end of your teens, you know, going out and you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, and I wasn't really doing that. So that's why I kind of want to live my life to the full now.
This is what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So the weight, the heaviest that you was is
18.2.
18.2. And when did you start to think this is no good? I'm going to actually bring this weight down.
So I was actually on holiday and I got a call from a family friend of ours who said that they wanted to put on a Chelsea Legends versus Rangers Legends match at Sutton United, and would I give it my blessing? So I spoke to him all about it and he said, yeah, that'd be really nice. And then he asked me if I wanted to play 10 minutes at the end or 20 minutes at the end. So I kind of took that as a starting block. I didn't want to turn up like Mr. Blobby and try and trundle around the pitch. So I thought this is my opportunity now to start training again. So I went on a few runs. It was quite difficult at the time. My knee still wasn't that strong.
Was that from football injuries?
Yeah. So I've done my cruciate a couple of times now, and I've had about 4 operations on my right knee. So it's not in the best shape.
When you played football, was you like semi-pro or?
Just underneath that really. So I was playing for a team called Leatherhead in their youth team at the age of 17, 16. But it never really progressed any further than that.
And did you feel that when you first started your football it was because of Dad that you wanted to get in because?
No, in all fairness, he kind of pushed me away from football a little bit. I think he thought there would be an immense amount of pressure on me as a kid.
So he going back to what you heard on the sidelines when you went out on the pitch.
Yeah, so he forced me more into the rugby route, and I started to play rugby at school and stuff like that. But football was always a bit of a love of mine, and I was okay at it. So I thought, do you know what? On the side, I'm going to try and pursue this as a career. But it just never came off. bit of a shame, really.
And you talking about careers. You have your own business.
So I work with my uncle's company. He owns an AV specialist. We do fire and security products over in Kingston. And I've been involved in that industry now for about 20 odd years.
Brilliant. So leading up to what happened, unfortunately, with Ray, I mean that must have been a tremendous blow. I mean.
Yeah, I mean it was that morning, that afternoon. I was having a chat to him on the phone, and at midnight that night, you're getting a phone call to say he's in hospital, and I never got the chance to speak to him again, which is never a nice thing, is it? I think that's one regret everyone has really in that predicament, is you never had that chance to say that final goodbye to them as a person.
No.
It's all right seeing someone in hospital and saying it, but it's not the same, you know.
No. So I should imagine, Ross, and correct me if I'm wrong, that there must have been massive advantages being the son of a footballing legend, and I suppose there must have been some downsides, some disadvantages for a young man or a young boy growing up in that.
Yeah, I mean the advantages are quite obvious. Like we managed to travel the world as a kid, got to mix with loads of different cultures, live in different cities and stuff. Obviously got to go to loads of football matches, which I enjoyed.
Meeting all the top players.
Yeah, we used to be friends with some of the players. They used to come out for dinner and stuff. So as a kid growing up, you're always in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
People would look at you quite enviously towards that, I can imagine. But it's not all rose tinted. You know, there's always other angles to it.
Disadvantages would be.
Disadvantages are the pressures that come with it.
Pressure.
I mean, if you look around now, there's not many kids of famous footballing fathers that actually make it in football. A few have broken through, Steve Bruce and Alex Bruce, people like that, but there's not a huge abundance of them, and it wouldn't be that their kids are immensely untalented, it would probably be that they just haven't been able to cope with the pressure, and that was certainly the case from my point of view.
And that probably was, or maybe the cause at 18 that you started to get the depression.
Potentially.
Possibly.
There were some other factors, I'm sure, around the time. You know, it's not 18, 19 is not an easy time to be in your life.
Transitioning
anyway. And there's some stuff going on at school and a few other bits and pieces that all kind of amalgamated into one big hit for me. Some of the fondest memories I got as a kid is probably being up at Glasgow Rangers. We used to, it was a time when I was about 8 years of age, and I can remember there was all the kids' families used to meet up after the game, so all the guys would go upstairs, and all us kids would go down the back where they kept the horses at the back of the stadium, and we would just run riot down there. We'd play little five-a-side games, we'd go out into the stands, we'd try and find tenors under seats and stuff like that. And it was a completely different era of sport to what it is now. It was really family orientated, and it was just really nice to be involved with, really.
Yeah, but you've got some fantastic memories there.
Yeah, I think his season with Carlo Ancelotti as well, when they won the double at Chelsea, was pretty impressive. That was more recent, and that's probably one of the fondest memories he had. He loved that club to pieces, and that was the biggest achievement I think he probably had in his career.
And do you know what I'm feeling is, not knowing your dad, but getting, from what you're telling me, is I think he would have loved to see you boxing in the ring.
Absolutely.
Am I right on that?
Yeah, definitely.
I really feel that.
He was a bit of a fighter himself in terms of how he lived his life. He always wanted to get up and have a purpose and have a meaning to it, and I think he would have enjoyed watching this. So
as a man with that purpose, give me a couple of examples. You say he had that fight in him. Does anything spring to mind that?
Even when he was on his deathbed, bless him, he still managed to outlive what everyone thought he would do in the hospital. So
strong man.
Yeah, he was a strong man. He really was.
So let's get to the boxing.
Yep.
Okay. Now, member of the family, Will Toy, passes some information to your wife.
Yes.
Okay, so he's the father-in-law. Will Toy is your father-in-law, a good friend of mine. So what happens? She then, you run me through it.
So he first spoke to me about it on holiday in June last year, and he was floating the idea past us and saying how could you potentially come up with some scoring ideas for the league, that kind of side of it, because that's one of the bits that excites me, is the league side of it, rather than just being a one-off. So we looked at it then, and we all came up with a few ideas and just pitched it, and I said to him, if that ever comes off, just let me know. And then he was out for lunch with my wife about October time.
That's it, yeah.
Start of November. And she called me afterwards and said, Dad started the boxing thing. And I said, where's the link? I'll sign up straight away.
And that's what
that's where it came from, really.
I got a phone call immediately from Will, and he said, my son-in-law wants to box. We need to give him more information. And then he ran me through exactly what had happened, that Will's daughter had passed on the training pack or what we was given at the time. It was in very early stages. And I think he was probably one of the first, or maybe the first, to say, I want to fight in the league. And so from there, the journey's already began.
It has, yeah.
So run me through some training of what you've been doing. Tell me what, I mean, we're talking about a few months away now, but tell me where you are.
Yeah, so obviously this year I've done quite a lot of weight loss training, and a lot of that's included high intensity running and stuff.
Now what I must say is Ross has never put a pair of gloves on in his life, or boxed, am I right?
Yeah.
Completely brand new.
Yeah.
Okay.
So fresh out the packet.
Fresh out the packet.
It's been a game changer, to be fair. I thought I was getting to a level of fitness where I could cope, and I've done 2 sessions now over at Tooting and Mitcham with smallholdings, who are quite close to where I live, and it's intense. It's really hard training, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Done a bit of pad work, a little bit of technique work. Obviously need to progress that as the weeks go up. But just that general boxing fitness is a completely different level to what I've been used to in anything I've done before.
Early days at the moment, but mentally, how are you feeling? Are you feeling that, well tell me what your thought pattern is.
I think focused is the word I'd use.
Focus.
Yeah. I think I've tried to focus on boxing training now rather than anything else I've been doing.
But since I last see Ross, which is probably about 6 weeks ago, I could tell straight away as soon as he got out of the car that he's already dropped a bit more weight.
Yeah.
Which shows you now the boxing's kicking in, and the reality and stuff like that. Although we're still weeks away, I can see you probably coming down about 3 weights.
Yeah. Probably by the time we get to
we get to the fight. But and the family, tell me, they fully behind you? Have you had any negativity?
Yeah, I think Mum's a little bit apprehensive.
Okay.
She's
what's she saying?
She's winced a couple of times and tried to get the kids to tell me not to do it.
Okay.
Like I said before, I think Sarah's right behind it. She's really got behind me, and said it's a really good idea. Obviously, there's a connection with her father there as well. So,
seeing that you've never boxed before, Ross, you know, there's people that I've took on board. I've trained many people that have never been punched in the face, never been punched on the nose, may have never had a fight in the school playground, although there's nothing wrong with that. How do you think you're going to feel when you took one?
I think in a weird way I'm quite looking forward to it.
You are?
Yeah. I've never had that experience before. Like you said, I'm one of those kids that hasn't had a fight in the playground.
Right.
Always tried to be a bit of a pacifist in terms of that.
Okay.
But I've always had this underlying side to me where...
But you wanted to let that out?
Everyone calls me Red Ross every now and again, and I go a little bit mad, so I'm sure this is going to bring it.
Right, okay. Because I can remember sometimes that if I hadn't sparred for a long while, I'd purposely get myself down and tuck up and get hit on the nose, well not so much the nose, maybe the top of the head, just to get that feeling of what it's like and what to expect. And that's what will happen on your journey, because what we've got here with Ross is a journey, or you're going to experience all those emotions. And I think the first ones, like you say, have kicked in. You feel in yourself that you've got this bit of a buzz or a big buzz going on inside you, which is a great way to be. And what about support? Like people coming on the night, friends, relations, have you had?
Yeah, so all my mates have been on the phone already.
All your mates?
Give me the date. So that's all done already, so
really?
they're all ready to come.
Yeah.
Family-wise, well obviously my mum probably won't turn up. She'll probably be wincing at home waiting for a phone call to say it's gone alright.
Okay.
But the missus will be there definitely, Sarah will be there. My sister will be there as well, so yeah, I'm hoping to get a few people down there.
Alright. One of the things that I think is, I don't know, you know where you're going, and how you're feeling, is a tribute to your dad, because we just spoke about, and I really felt that, and not even knowing your dad, that he would probably be there shouting and cheering you on and loving every minute of it.
Absolutely.
But this is a tribute to your dad?
Yeah, definitely. I think in my own mind I want to try and achieve something in his name.
In his name, yeah.
And it'd be nice to come out of there with a victory and potentially, have that bit of legacy in my own head as well.
And that's what it is.
Nice, yeah.
It's a legacy. That's lovely, thank you.